All right, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. It is time now for the segment that I love. As long as we had the DA on, talking a little, jail time in Cobb County, Georgia. Ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the Rosenthal Report. Apparently, I was looking for a...
Oh, there it is. Ouch.
There it is.
Ow, 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 ouch.
Yeah, that was
okay,
way
good.
too much, way too much. Here he is. We're just talking about attorney Jeremy Rosenthal through Fox News. He is the attorney in Texas. And we were just talking about Miranda Rights and how it doesn't mean they have to immediately be read to you when handcuffs go on.
Handcuffs is a pretty big indicator. So there are.
Okay.
So let's do it this way. So there are different levels of interactions with law enforcement. The first is called a voluntary encounter, which is, hey, buddy, you got a match. And here's a match. And by the way, I'm going to confess to all the heroin I've been trafficking, right?
Yep.
There's no legal protection there. Your right is to walk away. If it is a detention, a temporary detention, that's a traffic ticket. That's you get pulled over. You don't have right to counsel. It's temporary in nature. You cannot go, but you don't have to be read Miranda. Miranda is for custodial interrogation. And so when your liberty is restrained to the degree of custody, that's a pretty good indication that Miranda ought to be read. It's a good practice. So if you're in cuffs and you're in the back of the car, you kind of got to Mirandize. If you're gonna question, I think you're really playing with fire. If you don't, but then again, if Miranda's also for questioning. So if you're not questioning the suspect and the suspect just wants to tell you about whatever. Yeah. Oh, by the way, there's a bunch of dead bodies in my basement, right? Right. That's that smell that you have. And the officer's like, well, I didn't ask you, but okay, great. In that instance, Miranda is not going to do that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. You asked.
Fair enough. I bring this up because there might have been a time after a Super Bowl in the 90s that I found myself in Cobb County Jail, which is, when you're a New Yorker, the last place you want to be. Where Miranda Rights just weren't read, but we were let go and charges were dropped. So, craziness. Okay, topic one. We take three topics each week, and Jeremy runs through them. This one's been in the news. U.S. Appeals Court rejects Trump's bid to oust the Fed's Lisa Cook. What are your thoughts on this? And my general feeling is, it's just going to go to another court. Maybe it's the Supreme Court. What do you think?
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, it's going to the Supreme Court. When you are appointed on the Federal Reserve, it's a great gig, by the way. And the dental's great, and it's a 14-year term. Yeah. Okay. The only thing that can't happen to you is that you cannot be fired for cause by the president. So keep that guy happy and don't do anything for cause, and your gig is as good as gold, right? So Trump fires Lisa Cook, says that he's firing her for cause. They disagree on it, right? Trump says you signed a couple of affidavits for a mortgage. You listed multiple places as your primary address. That's cause. And he may be right. He may be right. Her point is a couple things. First off, she's like, yeah, no, I didn't do that. One of these was a vacation home and I listed it. And the second one wasn't. And the second is, look, you can't just hit me out of this with the blue. I get to speak my piece here. And so the Second Court of Appeals, the D.C. Court of Appeals, sided with her, but it's going to go to the Supreme Court.
Yeah. Do you, wouldn't she have to be tried and convicted, or can it just be an accusation?
Well, it's for cause, so it doesn't have to be a conviction of any type because you don't have a right to be on the Federal Reserve. You're held to a higher standard. But you do get a little bit. That's what the court said is you get a little bit of due process here. You do get to the president just can't say, well, this is cause and that's cause. And I think it's from The Office where Michael Scott said, I'm firing you for cause and the cause is I hate you.
Right.
So it can't that's not going to work. So right. So that's kind of the tussle that we're in.
Okay. My guess is that will be predictable. Topic two, former federal prosecutor Maureen Comey suing the Trump administration over her firing. Of course, she has the now famous dad. What are your thoughts on this one?
Okay, so the question here is, can the President of the United States walk out into the Rose Garden and fire the gardener, right, who's a federal employee? And he can do it to the Secretary of State, I think. He can try to do it to somebody on the Federal Reserve, but can he go out and do that to the rank and file, right? Can he just go and the receptionist at the IRS building, can he say, too slow, you're out of here? Can he do that? The answer is not necessarily, because when you're not appointed by Congress, when you're a lower level employee, how much does the administration, how much do they have over you, and how much due process do you get? There's a statute, the Civil Servants Act, says that you get about 30 days to make your case. Maureen Comey is, look, she's no Jeremy Rosenthal. Let's be clear, okay?
Because you wouldn't be in this problem.
Oh, no. She wouldn't be talking to people in Utica, right?
That's
she
right.
wouldn't have this segment, would
That
she?
is right.
She's a Harvard grad. She was on the law review there. She prosecuted P. Diddy. She prosecuted Ghislaine Maxwell. She prosecuted Senator Mendez. She's got a pretty impressive resume, and all of her reviews were really good. And then one day you're fired, and she's saying, "Look, this is because of my dad." And by the way, you got to give me a little bit of due process. Kind of the same issue with Lisa Cook. You can't just do it because you want to do it. So that's where this thing is. And it'll be an interesting fight, because a lot of the federal employees that have been let go, a lot of the folks that got removed with Doge, a lot of their cases are sort of stuck in this purgatory of bureaucracy. She actually went to federal court and said, "Yeah, no, I'm going to sue you here." So that'll be a pretty interesting fight, I think.
I agree, and not that I know anything to agree or disagree. Topic 3: Jimmy Kimmel defeats George Santos' appeal over videos.
I love this one.
Yeah.
I think the argument that Santos made is so absurd.
Yes.
But go ahead, explain this.
Man, I think so good. It's an American tradition to kick people when they're down, right? Can we agree that that's what we're supposed to do? So George Santos look, poor guy's about to go to, he's in prison now, but at the time he was like, the storm clouds were coming, and so he's on Cameo. You have a Cameo account, right, Bill?
We covered the story and played his Cameo. I thought he just went on Cameo on his own. Are you saying he was coerced?
No.
George Santos? Well, he was coerced by Well, he was okay. So Santos gets like 60 or 70 or $80 a pop for wishing people happy birthday, right? Because he needs the money.
Right.
Okay, but what happens here is that Santos, Kimmel is just like, so he wants to see if he can bait Santos in saying these ridiculous things. It's right. Hey, Brenda, congratulations on cloning your schnauzer Adolf. Give him a belly rub for me.
Yeah,
stuff like that. So awesome. he's doing that.
Typical
and Santos
morning radio
people actually
stuff.
Pay for that.
Yeah. Well, I pay for this. Yeah.
He takes the bait and he does like 14 of them. And he said, and actually through Cameo, they're copyrighted. They are, because you can't like rebroadcast and republish and all that stuff. But that's assuming like this is your kid's 8th birthday party. And the court came back and said, no, look, when you're a public figure and you go out and seek this kind of attention, when you get kicked in the teeth real hard, that's the First Amendment. But I'll tell you what, he sued for $150,000 times 14 copyright infringements. That's a lot of jack for the commissary. Like he could have used them. He could really use the money. And does Disney and AB, do they really need the money?
Well, I know they just paid all that money to Trump, so maybe they're like,
see?
Yeah, you just don't.
Yeah, look,
Listen, I give Kimmel credit. That's an old-time radio bit right there. You lure him in to say something stupid and then play it until it's not funny anymore. So, wow. All right, well, there we go. Your insight is amazing, as always, ladies and gentlemen. The Rosenthal Report. Jeremy, have a great rest of the week.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much. Jeremy Rosenthal with Fox News Radio.